Okay, so in order to shoot a time lapse with a Canon DSLR, you're going to want 5 different things. So this is important because the DSLR doesn't have everything you need to shoot a time lapse built into the camera. So you're going to need your camera, you're going to need a lens for it. You're definitely going to want a tripod. It's optional, but I would definitely recommend picking up one unless you have a very solid surface that you're going to set it down on. And then you're going to want a actually a mini USB to USB cable, and then a laptop that you can plug that USB cable into. Because we're going to need to connect the camera to the laptop in order to do the whole time-lapse setup. Okay, so we're going to get started here. First, we're going to set up the laptop. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Canon's website, and we're going to find the page for the camera that you're using. If you go to drivers and downloads, it'll bring you down below, and in the software section, you want to find scroll down, the digital solution disk. This is what would have come bundled with your camera. If you have it, you can install it directly from the disk. But I'm going to go ahead and do the online version. It's going to ask for the serial number just to verify, and then it will download the software. Okay, so we're just going to save this, and then it's going to take a little bit to download. Once it's downloaded, we're going to do show in folder, and then we are going to extract this zip file, and then we're going to run the installer. So just get this software installed. One thing to note is if you do the easy or express install, it's going to want to install all of this. I did the custom install, so I can just select stuff that I'm not going to use, which is almost all of this. So we're just going to uncheck all of this. We just want the EOS utility 2 here, and I'm going to do next. Okay, and we're set to go. We're going to open up the EOS utility, and to connect the camera via LAN, so Windows Firewall, blah, 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 press yes, and then yes. It's just going to do a first time setup here. And then we can actually pair it over Wi-Fi and LAN if we don't have it plugged into the computer. I'm going to plug it in to the computer just for a stronger connection. So this is where the USB cable is going to come into use. Okay, so I got a few other things set up. I got the tripod set up here. I got my camera and the lens attached to it. So I have the lens caps here. And then the USB cable, the normal USB end, we're going to plug into the computer. There we go. And then the mini USB end, this is a long cable, it's going to go into the camera. If you tilt the camera on its side, it's either going to be on the left side or the right side. There's going to be a panel, a plastic rubber panel you can open up, and it's going to have a bunch of ports in it, one of which should be your mini USB. So we're going to get this plugged in here. There we go. And then we're going to power on the camera. And you'll see my computer detected it. EOS utility is continuing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do control camera right here, or actually you can do camera settings / remote shooting. So we'll select that. And then we've got, still setting up my camera. We've got all of our remote shooting options right here. So this basically gives you all the settings that you could get on your camera, and you can actually adjust them right from your computer, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now is the important part. We're going to select the little timer icon right here, and we're going to enable remote interval timer shooting. Then we can choose the interval. So I'm going to do 5 seconds. So this will take one shot every 5 seconds. And then it's going to ask us how many shots we want to take. So we might have to do some math here. So if I pull up the calculator, if we want to do 5 shots, or a shot every 5 seconds, that's 5 seconds, times, if we did 500 shots, that's going to be 2,500 seconds, divided by 60, so that's 41 minutes of shooting. So that might be a little bit too long, so we're going to do, let's probably do half that. Let's do 250 shots. And then start, you're going to push as soon as you want to start recording. Now we're going to leave it at this screen real quick. And we're going to take the camera, and we're going to put it on the tripod, and I'll show you what to do next. It's funny, every time I do a tutorial like this, it always feels like I have to rig up something weird because I forgot something. And in this case, I forgot the stupid mount that goes there to hold the camera, and I misplaced it somewhere. I don't know. So I took an old shoelace and rigged up the camera, but it'll still work fine. So I have it aimed out there, and on here, if you, like I said, if you push that live view shoot button right there, it'll show what would normally show up on the camera screen. So I got that set, and then you can do stuff like adjust your ISO and everything over here, like your aperture and stuff like that. So I got that set up, and I just need to do a couple things real quick. First, I need to focus it, and second, I need to turn off the stabilizer. So let me show you how to do those. Alright, so I did a couple things. First, I manually adjusted this because it's better to have manual focus on. That way it's not auto-focusing throughout the entire time-lapse. This way it'll be in the same focus and it won't get any weird blurry images or anything every once in a while. So we got that. And then you just want to turn the stabilizer off on the lens. So the stabilizer is right here. I have it on right now. So if I flip that switch, it'll turn the stabilizer off. That's also important because it'll help get rid of those weird moving / blurry images every once in a while. So that's all set. And we can do stuff like adjust the photo colors and everything in post. So we're gonna go back over, we're gonna close the live view, we're gonna go back to this, and I decided I actually do want to do the longer, so we're gonna do 5 seconds. And we're gonna do, we're actually gonna do 700 shots. Just because I'm planning on being away for around an hour, and that's about an hour's worth of shots. So we're gonna go ahead and press start. And it's gonna have a little display here. So time until next shot. So once it hits 0, it'll take a shot. And then it's gonna say 5, it's gonna count down, and it's gonna keep doing that. And you'll see over here, as it takes them, it's gonna update this image here. It is taking all of mine in RAW, which might be something you should consider. I should have enough storage for all of these on the camera, but it's going to take up quite a bit of space because these are going to be like 25 megabyte RAW photos. But it's going to show you the most recent shot over here. But we've already taken 8 shots, 9 shots, and we're just going to let this run. Also, one last thing you should consider, and that is plugging in your computer if you're running this on a laptop, which most people will be. Just because your laptop's definitely going to drain battery. Camera should be fine, but your laptop, you definitely don't want that to run out of battery, or it's going to stop taking photos. Okay, so it's been a little over an hour, and it looks like 0 seconds remaining, 700 shots taken, exactly what I told it to. So we're going to go ahead and check out the shots that we took. So, one thing I didn't mention earlier is these are actually saved on the computer, not on the card of the camera. So, when you go into where it says preferences down here at the bottom, it's going to ask you the destination folder right here. It's going to save it in your pictures folder. So, if I go down to my pictures folder, there we go. There's all 700 of those CR2 files. Which if I select all and then I take out this folder, it looks like we are at 15 gigs of photos, which is a lot. Alright, so Premiere's open. I'm using Bridge right now, and what I'm going to do with Bridge is I'm going to select all the photos, right click, and open in Camera Raw. And this is going to take a moment because, again, there are 700 of these photos. So it's going to load them all up. Yeah, it's going to take a while for a bunch of these to load up. But what's nice is I can go ahead and select all of them using Control A or Command A. And I can actually adjust some aspects of the photos because they are raw. So I can actually turn the exposure down a little bit. It makes it look a little bit better. Maybe adjust the contrast, make it a little more contrasty. maybe actually bring the highlights down a little bit so we can see the clouds a little better. And once I do that, it's going to adjust all of the photos. So then I can just go down to the bottom here where it says Save Images and click on that. And okay, so preset, custom, save in same location. We're gonna put these right on my desktop here. We're gonna make a new folder called Final Photos. So we'll save them in here. Select, and then example. That's fine. We're gonna make them all. Let's go ahead and do JPEGs. Or probably lowercase JPEG. I don't really know what the difference is there. We're gonna make them all JPEGs. That looks good. Adobe RGB, that's fine. So we're just gonna press save at the top here. This probably will take a little bit, but let's check. Yeah, so it's gonna take a little while, as you can see. It's only done 10, 12, 13. So we're gonna let this convert all of them. The nice thing about this is now that we've edited them all, it's going to be able to save the edits to all of the photos, and then we can delete all of the raw files. And compared to 25 megabyte raw pictures, one of these is only, looks like 1.27 megabytes. So it's going to be a lot smaller. So we're going to let these save. Okay, and that's all 700 images. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull open Premiere. We're going to import media. We're going to go to desktop, to our final photos, and all you have to do is select the first one, check this box right here that says image sequence, and push open. It's going to take a little bit to import them, and then if you right click on this, you can go to modify, interpret footage, and then just tell it the frame rate that you're using. I wanted to try 24 frames per second, so let's see what that looks like. So it's 24 frames per second. We're going to create a timeline. There we go. And now we can go ahead and preview. Just about 30 seconds there if we're going at 24. So let's try this out. And there you go. Clouds do start to disappear. They get harder to see. And I'll put the final video in the video that you're watching, so you're not just seeing the screen record, but it looks pretty cool. All right, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any other questions on how I did this, I know I didn't go into a lot of detail on a lot of parts, so if you have any questions, just leave a comment in the description below. But other than that, keep subscribed to the channel, and I'll post more videos like this if you enjoy them. And go ahead and leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.